Hello and welcome, and before I go into the video, my name is Kyle for the win, of course, but before I go into the video, I am going to be putting timestamps for each individual section of the video, from when I cover from the beginning to when I cover all the starting content for every Call of Duty game, and then I'm going to divide another timestamp from where I go into depth about all of the DLC in every Call of Duty game, and then finally I'll put a final timestamp in for when I start to talk about, the Treyarch DLC system for Black Ops 4 and my solutions for it, my opinions of it, and everything of that nature. I had no idea when I went to record this video that it would be over an hour long, but the thing about the video is if you want the video, if any of you guys want the video to make sense, you're gonna have to watch the entire thing. Even if you watch about 10-15 minutes of each individual section, you'll still get the full idea of the video. But basically, what I wanted to do with the video is I wanted to talk about every Call of Duty game starting content, and then compare that to Black Ops 4 starting content, and then go over to other Call of Duty games such as Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 1, and then talk about their DLC and how that compares once again to Black Ops 4's DLC model. And then I go and talk about how I feel about Black Ops 4's DLC, the solutions to the DLC for Black Ops 4, and the positives and the negatives as well. So that's pretty much what the whole video is about. But if you guys are really curious and want to watch the whole video, that's awesome. But to make it easier on you guys, I'm going to put timestamps in, so it just makes your life a lot easier. Anyway, guys, I really hope you guys go to enjoy it. The video probably took an absolute butt ton of editing, and yeah, see you guys at the end of the video. Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle for the win, and welcome to another Call of Duty video. In this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the current Call of Duty situation, with everything that's been going on here in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, all the hate, all the I'm not interested in this game anymore, this game is boring, this game has no content. I wanted to kind of go down memory lane a little bit for this video and talk to you guys about every single Call of Duty game from Call of Duty 4 all the way up to Black Ops 4, and talk about all of the starting content for each of those Call of Duty games. Then I'm going to go into DLC, talk to you guys about all the DLC that was in every single Call of Duty game as well, break that down for you guys, talk to you guys about release dates, how many maps we got in each DLC pack for each Call of Duty game. It's probably going to be a very, very long video. Luckily, I spent all on the day I'm recording this video, which is Friday. I spent all Friday getting gameplay from Modern Warfare Remastered, which is going to be my COD 4, quote-unquote, for this video. But luckily for you guys, my COD 4, I made sure that my Modern Warfare Remastered gameplay was as authentic as I could get it. World at War is actually a gameplay from my Road to World War II video from about 2 years ago. I just didn't want to hop on World War II just because there's so many hackers and so many issues, and there was only 300 people online when I looked last, so that's not very many people to get a gameplay. The Modern Warfare 2 gameplay is a Spec Ops gameplay, and maybe a streak in one of the Modern Warfare 2 games. Modern Warfare 2 is a really hard game to play, I came to find. It's just, I don't enjoy it. I know it's it's very nostalgic, a very, very fun Call of Duty game, but for me, I don't enjoy how people play it at this time anymore. The Black Ops 1 gameplay is pretty good, I'd say. We do pretty well. Then of course, I'm not going to explain every gameplay, but basically every Call of Duty gameplay will be in this one long video for you guys. But let's go ahead and not waste any time and jump into Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4, of course, I'm starting at Call of Duty 4 because Call of Duty 4 was the first Call of Duty game that really blew up the franchise. It was kind of that special year where Call of Duty just began to explode, got a ton of players, and basically Call of Duty 4 is a very, very interesting Call of Duty game because we started out with 16 starting maps to start out off with. Then we had a total of 22 primary weapons to only 4 secondaries, and only 3 kill streaks, which of course was the UAV, the airstrike, and then finally the chopper. So not a ton of content, or not a ton of weapons in this game. About average for the maps. When we talk about the maps, you'll come to see that 16 is pretty average for the multiplayer maps. Now jumping into Call of Duty World at War. Pardon me, the game started off with 12 standard maps and 1 zombies map to start off with. Of course, Nocturne and Toten, the zombies map that started it all, as well as very popular maps like Castle and other maps like that. So that's what we started off with here in World at War. World at War also had 22 primary weapons and 5 secondaries and only 3 kill streaks. Of course, I'm going to talk about the DLC after I go through all of this, so the gameplay will be pretty rapid here. But once we actually start talking about the DLC, the gameplay from each Call of Duty will be a little bit longer, just to let you guys know ahead of time. And of course, streaks were only 3, so we only had the recon plane, the artillery strike, and then finally the dog. So jumping into Modern Warfare 2, we started off with 16 starting maps, which is exactly the same as COD 4. A lot of great maps in Modern Warfare 2. Afghan, Wasteland, just fantastic maps. Loved Modern Warfare 2 maps. The total weapons, the total starting weapons. When I say total weapons, I mean the total starting weapons. We had 24 primary weapons and 19 secondaries. That's actually quite a bit, to be completely honest with you guys. That's 19 secondaries is a lot. As we keep talking here, you may come to find that 19 is probably one of the most in every Call of Duty game out there. And we had 15 streaks. This was the first Call of Duty game that introduced kill streaks that were more than just 3 kill streaks. So of course, you guys already know the Nuke, the Chopper Gunner, the AC-130, the Pavlo, the Harrier. Fantastic streaks. This was the Call of Duty game that I want to say completely started the golden era of COD. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, super popular game. Just was very popular with the community, as you guys well know already. Alright, so starting with Call of Duty Black Ops 1, we had, for the starting maps, we had 14 starting maps. And then jumping into the total weapons, we had 31 primary weapons to start off the game and 11 secondary. So 2 less starting maps than in Modern Warfare 2, and the same amount of streaks as Modern Warfare 2 as well. Of course, you guys already remember the big bad boy streaks, the dogs, the SR-71 or the VSAT, and then the, of course, Chopper Gunner, which is, of course, the most beautiful streak in all of Call of Duty. Jumping in now with Modern Warfare 3, talking about the DLC is going to be the most interesting part of this entire video, I think. It's really, the DLC model for Modern Warfare 3 was very interesting. Jumping in here with Modern Warfare 3, we started off with 16 standard maps, which of course is just like Modern Warfare 2, just like COD 4. You can kind of see a theme here with Infinity Ward Call of Duties versus Treyarch Call of Duties at this period of time in the Call of Duty history. We started off with 34 primary weapons and 16 secondaries, of course quite a bit. Modern Warfare 2 still holds strong with that 19 secondary weapons as well. Then for the streaks, this was the first Call of Duty that had 3 different kinds of streaks. Of course, we had support, we had assault, and of course specialist. So there's 27 total streaks between both assault and support, and then specialist, of course, was its own separate thing. Next, we have the Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which is my personal favorite Call of Duty game of all time. For that, we had, for the starting, we had 15. Yes, we had 15 standard maps to start off with. Of course, a little bit less than Modern Warfare 3. But the big difference is we had 5 starting zombies maps for Black Ops 2. So that was huge. I mean, I am counting Farm Town, Bus Depot as separate maps, along with Transit and Nuketown Zombies. So I'm counting those as 5, even though it's technically just 2, but I'm counting them as 5 because you could play survival on Farm Town and Bus Depot. And I actually forgot to mention, in Black Ops 1, we had 2 Zombies maps to start off the game with, 5 and Kino der Toten. Just to let you guys know about that, a little bit of a side note. The total weapons for Modern Warfare 2 were 27 primaries and 11 secondaries, with 2 DLC weapons in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 2 had 22 kill streaks. Keep that in mind for later on in the video. 22 kill streaks, so that is a lot. That is more than I think any Call of Duty game before this point, because we have 15, 3-3, 15, and, well, I guess Modern Warfare 3 has the most so far with 27, but with specialists. So Black Ops 2 has had a lot of streaks in it. Now we can jump into Call of Duty Ghosts. So the starting maps in Call of Duty Ghosts was, of course, 15, one extinction map. The starting weapons for Call of Duty Ghosts was we had 31 primaries and 10 secondaries. Quite a few primaries. Of course, they added the new weapon class called Marksman, which Marksman rifles, which were basically, think about from a Black Ops 4 perspective, think about the Auger DMR, but about 5 or 6 different variations of that. So Call of Duty Ghosts was the first Call of Duty to introduce that. 10 secondaries, very low amount of secondaries, but that's kind of okay with a lot of people, because who in Call of Duty Ghosts, who honestly use secondaries? I know for me, I don't have a single class with secondaries, so that's, a side note there. The DLC weapons for Call of Duty Ghosts, we had 3, and for the streaks, we had 28 streaks between the assault and the support package, and then of course we had specialists. So 28 is actually the highest number as of right now within the Call of Duty franchise. Jumping into Advanced Warfare, everybody's favorite COD. Advanced Warfare is honestly my least favorite Call of Duty game. Now, I apologize for the gameplay for Advanced Warfare, that it is against bots. I actually tried getting online when I went to record this, record gameplay for you guys, but unfortunately I couldn't get online for whatever reason. So you guys are going to enjoy a DNA bomb against recruit bots on a map called Skyrise, which of course is a DLC map for Advanced Warfare that I will talk about later. But jumping into the starting maps for Advanced Warfare, we had 13, which is not very many, and we started off with 1 Zombies map, which I forget the name of as of right now, but we only started off with 13 standard maps and 5 Zombies maps. Jumping into the starting weapons, we had 26 primaries and 8 secondaries, not too many, and for that game we had 3 DLC weapons, which include the M1 Irons and 2 DLC weapons that I will talk about again later in the video. The streaks for Advanced Warfare were very interesting. There was 12, which is not very many, but the huge difference between any Call of Duty ever was that they were customizable. I really actually liked that Advanced Warfare streak customization. I thought it was really cool. Basically, what you could do is you could pick up to 3 different add-ons to your streak to make them better, and that would, of course, increase the cost for the streak, but it would then make it better. If you just had the standard streak, it was not the best, but it was very, very cheap. So, very, very unique in Advanced Warfare with the streak method there. Jumping into Black Ops 3, we have, first the starting maps, we only had 13. You'll come to notice that after Call of Duty Ghosts, the starting maps in Call of Duty started to go down a little bit. But for Black Ops 3, 13 starting maps, 25 primaries to only 6 secondaries. Now this is the big thing right here. 51 DLC weapons. I counted all of them, and I was blown away as how many DLC weapons were in this game. And none of them were free. Not one single one of these DLC weapons was free unless you grinded a triple play bribe. That's crazy. 51 DLC weapons, none of them were free. That is insanity to me. I didn't even know there were that many, because I honestly didn't really care about DLC weapons, because I wasn't going to spend money on supply drops in that game. Just crazy. I did not know 51 DLC weapons were in that game. That's absolutely absurd. Jumping into the streaks for Black Ops 3, we had 18, which is again kind of
around that Treyarch number between 20 and 15. So a good amount of streaks in Black Ops 3, of course. Jumping in with Infinite Warfare, which is actually one of my new favorite Call of Duty games. I had so much fun playing that game when I recorded gameplay for you guys. The hit detection is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I cannot wait for Infinity Ward's next COD game. They always have fantastic hit detection, and I cannot wait for that. Anyways, for the starting maps in Infinite Warfare, we once again only had 13, and we started off with one zombies map called Zombies in Spaceland, which was pretty fun as well. And yeah, I'll talk about that later as well. Talk about the events and DLC stuff later. All that stuff we'll talk about later in the video. But we're almost there. We're almost ready to talk about the DLC for every Call of Duty game. And yeah. For Infinite Warfare, we started off with 26 primaries, which is quite a few, and only 9 secondaries. The DLC weapons in Infinite Warfare, we had 17, but the awesome, absolutely awesome thing about Infinite Warfare was all of the DLC weapons were free and unlocked automatically. The base variants, that is, of the DLC weapons were free for Season Pass holders, but if you weren't a Season Pass holder, you were not out of luck, you were not screwed over, you could grind some challenges and get all of the DLC weapons for free. That is the big thing that we're going to talk about for Infinite Warfare as well as Call of Duty World War II. We had 14 streaks in Infinite Warfare as well, and those were also customizable with variants about halfway through the year. So we didn't start off with 14 customizable streaks, but if 14 streaks, 3 variants of each, pretty hefty amount of streaks there as well. Jumping into Call of Duty World War II, for the starting maps, this is very, very key as well. The starting maps for World War II, we only had 10. And I'm only counting Carrington as another map because it was a pre-order bonus. If you pre-ordered the game, you got Carrington for free. So that's why we had 10 maps. But if you didn't pre-order the game, you only had 9 starting maps, which was very huge. We, of course, had 2 zombies maps. One zombies map, of course, was the Final Reich, which is actually the one that was the main zombies map for the release of the game. And for there was also a kind of a smaller zombies map there as well. Now jumping into in World War II as well, we had, for the starting weapons, we had 25 primaries and 6 secondaries, quite a few. And then for the DLC weapons, we had 41 DLC weapons, which is again crazy. That's only second to Black Ops 2. But once again, World War II made it so that all of the DLC weapons were free, with contracts, orders, or you could buy them with currency, which is basically the in-game currency. I forget what they're called off the top of my head, but you could buy them in-game. And to tell you guys the truth, I have every single DLC weapon in World War II, except for, I think, 3, which are the last, which was the last event of World War II, which was the, I forget what it was exactly called. I think it was called Halloween Scream. So it was the Halloween event. That is the only game that I didn't have, the only event that I didn't get the DLC weapons for. But all the rest of them I got for free. I think I only bought one. I think that was the Ribby Rolls. The Ribby Rolls for the last DLC because I really wanted it. So that's the only variant I think I bought out of World War II. And we had 15 streaks, so again, kind of standard. We'll come to see that that's around 15 to 25 is about the standard for Call of Duty. Now jumping into Black Ops 4, sorry. The game that everybody says has no content. When we talk about the DLC, I will actually tell you guys how much content is actually in this game. It's actually kind of absurd. Jumping into the starting maps, we had 14 starting maps. More than World War II and more than Infinite Warfare. So, I don't know. And, of course, 3 of those were remakes, so, I mean, you know. But, honestly, who complains about Firing Range? Who complains about Summit? Who complains about Slums? I know I never do, so if you guys complain about those maps, you probably haven't played Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1, because those maps are absolutely phenomenal, and the fact that they're remade into Black Ops 4, I actually really, really like. And we had 5 zombies maps at launch, which is crazy. Actually, we had 4, I believe. Yeah, I think we had 4. I have 5 here, but I think we only had 4. Because I think I factored in the one DLC zombies map we have so far. So we had 4 zombies maps to start off the game with, and they were full-size zombies maps. If you guys go back to my launch content, there was at least 5 or 6 videos a day for about 2 weeks. It was absolutely crazy. The starting weapons for Black Ops 4, we had 20 primaries and only 7 secondaries. So, again, if we look back at other Call of Duty games, unfortunately, it looks like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has the least amount of starting weapons. Which, I mean, you know, depends on the person, but I personally think that I wish there was more weapons in Black Ops 4, but it also made Dark Matter a breeze, knowing that I only had to do 20 weapons. So, and we have 8 DLC weapons so far, which of course include the SWAT, the Demon, the Cap 45, 3 melee weapons, and then of course the Rampage Shotgun and the Switchblade. And that's just so far. So we only have 8 DLC weapons so far. Once again, the big thing is all of the DLC weapons are free. You just have to grind the supply stream. And I'm almost tier 90 as of right now, so it's really not that hard to rank up the supply stream. I've done it really, really quickly. And Black Ops 4, people say the game is boring, but it has 15 streaks, the same standard 15 streaks. Now, I have a little bit of a disclaimer here. All of the content that I will talk about much later in the video is Black Ops 4. This is the content that's only 5 months in. There's more content coming. There's a new zombies map coming in about 2 weeks, I would say. So stay tuned for that. I'll keep you guys updated when I get more information. But this is just five months in. But anyway, guys, let's go back all the way to Call of Duty 4 and talk about the DLC model from Call of Duty 4. Once again, all the way back to Black Ops 4. And then we'll actually talk about my opinions on Black Ops 4 and the solution. It's going to be a very, very long video. I apologize, but this stuff is really important because I'm making a ton of very important points that I think a lot of people are forgetting. So, starting off with Call of Duty 4, we had one DLC, which was called the Variety Map Pack, which came out on April 4th, 2008 on Xbox One, and then came out around about 2 months later on PS3, and actually about a week later on PS3, and about 2 months later on PC, which is kind of crazy. It looks like PC has been forgotten about since the beginning of time for Call of Duty. Poor PC, guys. It's kind of unfortunate that you guys kind of get the short end of the stick, but apparently it is what it is, and it's always been that way for you PC guys. So that is very important to talk about, because for 2008, if we think about that, Call of Duty 4 came out, I'm guessing, I don't know the exact release date, but it came out in November of 2007, and we didn't get and you guys who played Call of Duty 4 way back in the day did not get the Variety Map Pack for 6 months after the game came out. Think about that for a second. If that happened now, there would be a complete uproar, because people complain if there's no content for a week. Think about that for a second. All of this stuff will add up to my huge point that I will make at the end of the video. So, of course, with that, DLC maps were 4. I don't remember the names, but we had Chinatown, Broadcast, Kill. I honestly forget the names, but that was it. That was the only DLC for the entire year of Call of Duty 4. 12 months, 1 DLC. That's all we had for that game. And I say we, but I never actually played Call of Duty 4 when it was out. Jumping into World at War, we had 3 DLC packs. Each contained 3 zombies maps and 1 zombies map. The first one went live on 3/19/2009. The second DLC went live on 6/11/2009, and the final DLC for Call of Duty World at War went live on August 6th, 2009. So, if we think about that, Once again, November to March is pretty much where we are right now. It's 4 months. Well, it's a little bit less than now, but it's 4 months, and we didn't get a DLC in World at War for 4 months. Of course, we had three maps, which were called Nightfire Station, Knee Deep, and Knee Deep, and we got Verrucht for that DLC pack. Jumping into DLC 2, that one didn't come out till 6/11/2009, which was again 3 months after that. Of course, it's the second Tuesday in June normally. And then we had Bonsai, Corrosion, Subhens, and the map was Shinonuma. So again, 3 months. And another disclaimer, from Call of Duty 4 to Black Ops 2, well, actually from Call of Duty 4 to Black Ops 1, there was no content in between those periods of time, between those DLCs. You just had to play the game standard, and you just had to enjoy the game. That's just the key. You had to enjoy the game during those few months of no content until the next DLC dropped. That's just how it was back then. Next we had DLC 3, which had Battery, Breach, and Revolution, and one Zombies map, of course, Der Riese. And this was released on August 6th, so once again, a little less than 2 months after, but that's when they usually do that, so they can get PS3 users to get the DLC a little bit before Modern Warfare 2 came out. So after all of this, after all the DLC came out for Modern Warfare for World at War, the game was left with 12 regular maps and 9 DLC maps, which adds up to 19. 21 maps, man. That's why I'm not a math major, ladies and gentlemen. So we had 1, and then we only had 4 Zombies maps for that entire year. Jumping into Modern Warfare 2, we only had 2 DLCs. I think there were supposed to be 4, but because of the fallout between Activision and Infinity Ward, which led to them leaving, I think that's why there was only 2. I could be wrong on that. I, of course, wasn't around to know for sure, but that's just what I think as of right now. And the Stimulus pack was the first DLC, which released on March 30th, 2010. So that, of course, was, again, 5 months after release, or 4 months after release. And then that DLC consisted of Bailout, Crash, Overgrown, Salvage, and Storm, so 5 DLC maps, 2 of which were, of course, original COD 4 maps, Crash and Overgrown. Again, if this happened now, people would be very upset that there were 2 DLC maps and only 3 regular. I don't know why, but that's the case anyway. Then DLC 2 was called Resurgence, and that had Carnival, Trailer Park, Fuel, Vacant, and Strike. Again, 2 Call of Duty 4 maps featured in that DLC as well, and that was released 6/3/2010. Now, I might have missed another DLC where they released only the COD 4 maps in a DLC. I might have missed that, but I don't believe they did that. And that didn't go live until 6/3/2010, which was actually a day after my 10th birthday. Fun fact for you guys. So again, from the release day of Modern Warfare 2 to March 30th, there was no content, hardly any updates, and that was that. So after that, we had 16 starting maps and 10 DLC maps, which then adds up to, of course, 26 total maps in Modern Warfare 2 by the end of its life cycle. Now, jumping into Call of Duty Black Ops 1, we had 4 DLC packs, of course. The first DLC pack was called First Strike, went live on February 1st, 2011, and that consisted of Berlin Wall, Discovery, Kowloon Stadium for the multiplayer maps, and then the Zombies map Ascension, which is a fantastic map. Absolutely love that map. So, of course, once again, we had about a 3-4 month break from the release to the first DLC pack. Then for DLC 2, we had Escalation, which was Zoo, Convoy, Hotel, Stockpile, and one Zombies map called Call of the Dead, which is a lot of people's favorite maps. I love that map as well. And that was released May 3rd, 2011. So once again, about a 3-month gap in between those DLCs. Again, of no content, no additions to the game, maybe a few patches here and there. For DLC 3, we had Annihilation, which consisted of Hangar 18, Silo, Hazard, Drive-In, and the Zombies map Shangri-La. And that went live on June 28th, 2011. So that's actually about a month and a half after DLC 2, which was a little bit interesting why those are super close together. And then for DLC 4, we had Resurrection, which was actually a zombies only DLC. I actually didn't know this until I actually made this video. And that was all of the World War Zombies maps remastered, of course, so Nocturne, Toten, Verrückt, Shino Numa, and Derice, all remastered, and then of course Moon, which is a lot of people's favorite map ever, and that was once again released on August 23rd, 2011. Again, between all of these, there was no DLC weapons, there was no add-ons, just patches, I believe, and that was that. So after the DLC maps are factored in, there was only 26 total maps that ended up in Black Ops 1, sorry, and of course we had that 9 maps is, I believe, correct. So, anyways, good amount of DLC. So jumping into Modern Warfare 3, this is probably the most interesting type of DLC model we've ever seen, and I think if I'm right here in saying that Modern Warfare 3, this is the DLC that I think people in the Call of Duty community want. Of course, I'll read all of this DLC for you guys. So, for Content Pack 1, which went live, I believe, in March, and then every following month after that. So, starting in March or February, it was either March or February, Liberation and Piazza DLC maps went live for players who were using Call of Duty, Xbox players who were using Call of Duty Elite, and then came out about a few weeks later for everybody else. I mean, the Modern Warfare 3 DLC system was crazy. I can't even explain how crazy it was. I don't remember exactly how things went. But then for Content Pack 2, which came out in March, we had Overwatch, which was another map. Then for Content Pack 3, which went live in April, we had the multiplayer map Black Box, and we had 2 Spec Ops missions called Black Ice and Negotiator. Then for Content 4, which went live in May, we had Foundation and Sanctuary. And then for Content Pack 5, we had Oasis, Getaway, which was a face-off mode, Lookout, which was another face-off mode, and then 2 special operation Spec Ops missions, which was called Ironclad and Killswitch. Content Pack 6 consisted of Vortex, which was a face-off, Intersection, which was another face-off, U-Turn, which was a face-off, Arctic Recon, which was a special ops. Then for Content Pack 7, we had Vertigo, and we had 2 multiplayer maps, Decommission and Offshore. Then for Content Pack 8, we had Light 'Em Up, which was a Spec Ops mission, Special Delivery, which was again another Spec Ops mission. Then for the final Content Pack for Modern Warfare 3, we had Parish, multiplayer map, Boardwalk, multiplayer map, and finally Gulch multiplayer map. Another awesome thing about Modern Warfare 3 was we had 3 free DLC maps, and those consisted of Terminal, Aground, and Erosion, which was pretty cool. Again, wasn't around during this time to know about all this DLC. I've actually been watching some Modern Warfare 3 videos recently, looking back on the DLC for that game, just so I could have a better understanding of it. So, after all of the DLC, we have a total of 29 maps, including the 3, which I might have factored in the 3 to that number, so a total of, so it would be a total of actually about 32 multiplayer maps at the end of the game. So very, very interesting DLC for Modern Warfare 3. I think this is how people now, for Black Ops 4, want DLC to be done. They want 1 or 2 new DLC maps every month. Unfortunately, that's just not happening. I think that's why people are a little bit frustrated. Of course, what I said pre-launch of Black Ops 4, I said, it's probably going to be like the Modern Warfare 3 DLC system, and it hasn't turned out to be that way, unfortunately. Not complaining, just stating complete facts. Now jumping into Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 is where DLC gets a little bit interesting. So DLC 1, we had Revolution, which consisted of Hydro, Grind, Downhill, and Mirage, and one zombies map called Die Rise, and then the Peacekeeper DLC weapon, which was the first DLC weapon to ever be added in a Call of Duty history. This was released January 29th, 2013. DLC 1 for Black Ops 2 is probably my favorite DLC of all time, just a little bit of a disclaimer. So once again, 2 months, pardon me, until that DLC came out. So quite a while of a wait, again with no content, that's key. DLC 2, we had Uprising, which consisted of Vertigo, Encore, Magma Studio, and Mob of the Dead, which is my favorite zombies map of all time still to this day. I loved all the DLCs for Black Ops 2, to be completely honest with you. And that was released April 16th, 2013. So again, about a 3-month gap in between these DLCs of no content once again. Then for DLC 3 we had Vengeance, which was Cove, Rush, Uplink, Detour, and Buried, as well as the second DLC weapon to ever come into Call of Duty, which is the Ray Gun Mark II. And this was released on July 2nd, 2013. So once again, about 3 months between each DLC. And then Apocalypse, we had Pod, Frost, Takeoff, Dig, and then Origins, which is a lot of people's favorite map ever. And that was released on August 27th, 2013. And then this is the first Call of Duty game that introduced micro DLC. So I believe that the first micro DLC was put out after DLC 1, and then the second micro DLC was put out after DLC 3. I'm not positive, I can't remember the exact dates, but and this consisted of 22 camos, calling card, packs, extra class slots as well, so very interesting there. And then finally for Nuketown, for the free DLC in Black Ops 2, we had Nuketown 2025, which came free for everyone. So after we factor in the DLC maps, Black Ops 2 has had about 31 maps and 9 zombies maps as well, which is pretty cool there. Jumping into Call of Duty Ghosts, again we had 4 DLCs, which consisted of Onslaught, Devastation, Invasion, and Nemesis. Each of these, the first DLC, Onslaught, went live on January 28th, 2014, and we had the Maverick A2 Sniper/AR, which was again another DLC weapon that was added into the game if you bought the DLC. Then DLC 2 was Devastation, with Behemoth, Ruined, Unearthed, Collision, and Mayday, which are extinction maps. We had 4 DLC extinction maps as well. And then for DLC 2 we had the Ripper SMG/AR, and that was released on 4/3/14. So again, a 3-month gap. I'll stop talking about the gaps because you guys already get the drift, and I'll just start speeding through this stuff more quickly. So DLC 3 we had Pharaoh, Departed, Mutiny, Favela, and Awakening, which was the extinction map, and then we had Nemesis, which was Dynasty, Gold Rush, Showtime, Sub-Zero, and then Exodus, which was another extinction map. Then for the micro DLC we had about 20 skins, camos, and voice packs. So the skins were of course customization for your character, and then the camos were of course like the personalization camo packs from Black Ops 2. And then we had voice packs, which was actually Snoop Dogg and I believe the Drill Sergeant. So after we factor in the DLC maps and the multiplayer maps, it averages out to 31. And we had 5 extinction maps, of course, with including the one that we started off with. And so we only had 2 DLC weapons. Well, actually 3. I have 3 written down, I don't know why. But we had 2 DLC weapons for Call of Duty Ghosts. Jumping in at Advanced Warfare, we again had 4 DLCs: Havoc, Ascendance, Supremacy, and Reckoning. We had Sideshow for the first one. We had Sideshow, Core, Drift, Urban, and Outbreak, which was of course the zombies map. And we had the AE4 assault rifle release as well. And that was released on January 27, 2015. And then Ascendance was the second one, which had the multiplayer maps of Perplex, Site 244, Climate, Chop Shop, Infection, which was the zombies map, and then the Ohm LMG. And that was once again the last DLC map for Advanced Warfare. And then for DLC 3, we had Supremacy, which consisted of Kremlin, Parliament, Compound, Skyrise, and Carrier, which was the zombies map. And that was released on my birthday in 2015, so my 15th birthday. June 2nd, by the way, is my birthday, just in case any of you guys were wondering. DLC 4, Reckoning, which is Swarm, Quarantine, Fracture, Overload, and then Descent was the zombies map, and that was released on August 4th, 2015. Again, the only thing that was in between these DLC packs was, of course, micro DLC, which was 23 camos and exo packs, as well as, of course, there were supply drops, which consisted of micro transactions for the first time. Supply drops for the first time in Call of Duty history. And then the first And then the free DLC for that map was the Atlas Gorge map, which I believe became free later on. It was a pre-order bonus, but then it became free like previous Call of Duty games. Then once we factor into the starting maps, that equals out to 30 maps, 30 total DLC maps, and then 5 Zombies maps as well, including the one that was released. And we have 3 DLC weapons for Advanced Warfare, which include the M1 Irons, which was just added randomly one week, I believe. Now jumping into Black Ops 3, we had again 4 DLC packs: Awakening, Eclipse, Descent, and Salvation. Awakening, we had Skyjacked, Rise, Splash, Gauntlet, and Der Eisendrache, which is a fantastic Zombies map, one of my favorite out there, still to this day, and that was released on February 2nd, 2016. Eclipse, we had Spire, Knockout, Rift, Verge, and Zetsubo no Shima, which again is another one of my favorite Zombies maps, believe it or not, and that one live on April 19th, 2016. Then Descent was Berserk, Cryogen, Empire, and Rumble, which was and then Grod Krovi, and that was released on July 12th, 2016. And then DLC 4 was Salvation, which included Micro, Rupture, Outlaw, Citadel, and Revelations, which is a fantastic map as well. First map I ever got to around 100 on. Not too hard, nothing to brag about, but pretty cool. I got to around 100. And then that was released on September 6th, 2016, which is a little bit late. I'm not including Zombie Chronicles in this because I just want to talk to you guys about the DLC that was out during the game's life cycle before the next Call of Duty came out. If you guys remember, Zombies Chronicles came out during Infinite Warfare's life cycle, so it doesn't really count with what the point of the video is, which I will get to later. I apologize it's been taking so long, but all of this stuff I'm talking about is leading up to a point later on in the video, and I have to talk about all of this before I can actually go into depth about actually what all this crap I'm saying basically means. So of course the micro DLC was of course supply drops with hundreds of skins, calling cards, emotes, and of course the worst supply drop system ever for DLC weapons. And that was also there because all 51 DLC weapons, like I mentioned earlier, were locked behind supply drops. So after all of the DLC maps and the starting maps, we have 19 total maps throughout the entire Black Ops 4 life cycle, Black Ops 3 life cycle, sorry, and then 6 Zombies maps because, of course, the Giant and Shadows of Evil were the first 2 Zombies maps that we had for that game. Of course, DLC weapons were 51, which is absolutely absurd. Now, jumping into Infinite Warfare, we once again had 4 DLC packs, which were Sabotage, Continuum, Absolution, and Retribution. Sabotage consisted of Dominion, Neon, Noir, Renaissance, and Raven Redwoods, which was the Zombies map, and that was released on January 31st, 2017. And then we had Continuum, which consisted of Archive, Excess, Scrap, Turista, and Shaolin Shuffle, which was the Zombies map, and that was released on April 18th, 2017. Next we had DLC 3, which was Absolution, which consisted of Permafrost, Ember Force 4, Bermuda, and Attack of the Radioactive Thing, and that was released on July 6th, 2017. And then DLC 4 was Retribution, and that consisted of Carnage, Heartland, Altitude, Depot 22, and The Beast from Beyond, and that was released on September 12th, 2017. This was also the first Call of Duty game that introduced events for the first time, I believe so. And that had Shamrock and Awe and Days of Summer. Those were the only ones I could remember off the top of my head. So those were really fun. Those added a lot of excitement and hype in the community. And when I talk about Black Ops 4 here in not very long at all, Shamrock and Awe is due up, as well as a redacted event, which I will talk about later in the video. Micro DLC, we have, of course, supply drops once again. We had plenty of weapon variants, plenty of all sorts of stuff in those supply drops as well. So once we, of course, factor in the DLC maps and the starting maps, that averages again to 29 total maps here in the game. Yeah, I was just making sure I did my math right. And then we had, of course, 5 Zombies maps. And then the free DLC for Infinite Warfare was, of course, the Terminal. Now, jumping into... And then, of course, the DLC weapons, as I mentioned earlier, was handled fantastically in Infinite Warfare. Now, jumping into Call of Duty World War II. We had, of course, 4 DLC packs once again. We had the Resistance, we had the War Machine, we had United Front, and we had Shadow War. If you guys click on my YouTube, you can see gameplay of absolutely everything World War II DLC related. So for the Resistance, we had Anthropoid, Valkyrie, Operation Intercept, and we had the Darkest Shore Zombies map, as well as the Resistance event that went with that DLC as well. And then we had one, and that went live on 1/30/2018. Then the War Machine was Dunkirk, Egypt, V2, Operation Husky, the War Mode, and then the Shadow Throne, which was the Zombies map, and that went live on 4/10/18. Fun fact, War Machine is my favorite DLC in World War II. Next, we had DLC 3, which was the United Front, and that consisted of Market Garden, Stalingrad, Monte Cassino, and Operation Supercharge. And then the Nazi Zombies map was the Tortured Path, and that went live on 6/26/2018. And then for DLC 4, we had Shadow War, which consisted of Airship, Excavation, Chancellery, Operation Arcane, and the Frozen Dawn, which was the Zombies map. Now, in between each of these DLCs, of course, for the Resistance DLC, we had the Resistance event, but we also had Shamrock and Awe, Blitzkrieg, Undead, which was for the United Front DLC, Days of Summer, Covert Storm, Halloween Scream, and Winter Siege. So we had a lot of events for World War II, a lot of exciting content, and once again, I think this is what people are looking for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 as well. So lots and lots of content for there, as for Infinite Warfare as well. The reason I'm not talking about Modern Warfare Remastered is just because I don't think it's really relevant to talk about Modern Warfare Remastered, because it just it's basically the same as COD 4, except we had a few different events, a few different new maps, stuff like that. Of course, once again, the micro DLC in World War II was, of course, supply drops. And for the free DLC, we had Shipment, 1944, and we had the Headquarters map. We also had Winter Carrington as a free DLC map as well. And I can't think of any others, unfortunately, off the top of my head. So after we factor in all of the maps, we had 10 starting maps, but we had 18 DLC maps. So that averages to 28 maps. Again, less, just barely less than other Call of Duty games. But the thing that made people really mad about World War II was we only had 9 maps to start off with, and all the DLC still made it less than previous Call of Duty games. So that is it for World War II. Now let's jump into Black Ops 4, which is definitely the most controversial Call of Duty right now. A lot of people aren't playing it because of this DLC, the DLC model, because of the low frequent updates. But let me just talk to you guys about all of the DLC that I was able to think of off the top of my head when I was writing this Word document and preparing all of these videos, preparing this video for you guys. If you guys have made it this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have been talking for a very long time. I knew this was going to be a very long video. I had no idea it would be this long, but yeah, I mean, I had an idea it would be really long. I didn't think it'd be this long, though. Jumping into Black Ops 4, we had the Halloween event, which was a supply stream of 200 tiers. Some big things I picked out of that were the Hudson Blackout character, Shadow Man for the Black Ops Pass, and the ICR Mastercraft variant. And that went from October 12th, launch day, until December 10th, which was about a 2-month gap of content. And then we had Operation Absolute Zero, which is the event that we just finished about 2 weeks ago. And this was a 100-tier supply stream with stickers, calling cards, Secret Santa DLC weapon, Sleigh Bell DLC weapon, which you had to buy, unfortunately, SOG 9mm Mastercraft, HBR 50 Mastercraft, Ancient Civilization skins, because of course there was, the knight skins and the samurai skins and stuff. We had a hijacked Blackout update / the fall and Christmas update during that time as well. We had the Demon 3XB SMG, as well as the SWAT RFT assault rifle. And we had the Zero Specialist was introduced as well, and there was many store updates with reactive camo, skins, and other stuff. We had the ABR Mastercraft, and we had 2 DLC maps, Madagascar Elevation, and 1 Zombies map, which was Dead of the Night, as well as the Barbarian supply stream, which featured the Cap 45. That's a lot of content. It's not necessarily a lot of content that people want, but it's still a lot of content. Next for Operation Grand Heist, this is just so far. There's still, if I can open up Black Ops 4 really quick, I believe there is still about 50 days or so left of Operation Grand Heist. Let me just check that really quickly. There are, 52 days left, so that's a lot of days. So this is just so far for content. We have Outrider Specialists, we have emotes, face paint, camos, calling cards, Warden Blackout skin, Augur DMR Mastercraft, which I will make a video on very soon. The Rampage Shotgun, the Switchblade SMG, the Jump Packs for Blackout, which is basically, you guys already know what those are. The Ghost Town update, Police/Robber skins, as well as Hot Pursuit mode, which is actually live right now. One in the Chamber, Baller skins, reactive camos, Cha-Ching melee weapon, and multiple store updates as well. So that's just so far. Of course, you guys already know, if you guys watched my video about the calendar, there's a lot of stuff left for Operation Grand Heist. So that is all of the content. And then for the maps, we have Lockdown and Casino, which is again 2 maps. And then for the Zombies maps, we have Gauntlet modes for all of the maps. In a Zombies map that's coming out soon, probably by the end of March. And for the events for this game so far, we're going to have Shamrock and Awe, and then, pardon me, the Redacted event. So, how many DLC maps do we have in this game as of right now? We have 4. And what month is it? It's March. So, thinking about it this way, as of right now, if it were, let's just say, if it were Black Ops 2, if it was 2013 again, Black Ops 4 would be pretty much exactly where the other Call of Duty games would be as of right now. 4 DLC maps. Now, unfortunately, and 1 DLC map, 1 Zombies map, sorry. But unfortunately, the unfortunate part is though that moving forward, by the middle of April, this event will still be going on. So we'll be a little bit behind on DLC, but basically as of right now, we are exactly where the DLC has been for every single Call of Duty game ever. And of course, we talked through every single day, every single DLC pack, every single everything about every Call of Duty game leading up to now with Black Ops 4. So as of right now, we have 4 multiplayer DLC maps. That doesn't include the free DLC maps, which were Firing Range Night and Seaside Sunset. So that's actually technically 6 DLC maps. And of course, there's hardly any updates in between those periods of time, because that's never how it's been in Call of Duty history ever. Fortnite, I honestly think Fortnite has kind of set a poor, or I mean, you could say it's a positive or a poor example of what game updates should be like. But I understand that the gaming market changes and everything of that sort. I understand markets change, but overall, Black Ops 4 is about where it's been for every single Call of Duty game ever. For example, in COD 4 and World at War, as I said, there would be an uproar in the community if it was back in that. If we wanted the DLC that we have now, back then, there would have been a massive uproar. But the thing is, they're doing the exact same thing with this game. Low DLC, low support, low stuff from old Call of Duty games between each event. Because if you remember back from each of the DLCs, there was hardly any stuff going on between each DLC release. There would be a DLC pack release, empty. DLC pack release, empty. DLC pack release, empty. And I guess people have decided that it's fun to complain now because it's not how it used to be, but honestly, the complaining is getting really ridiculous because everything, the whole Call of Duty franchise, all 13 games that are out, have very similar DLC to this game. Personally, I love DLC packs. I wish Black Ops 4 did DLC packs. There's a lot of debate about it splits up the player base, which it does. I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't, because it definitely does. But again, like I talked about with my Black Ops Pass video a long time ago, which I will leave at the end of the video, it's a business. You can't expect to get handouts for free. We already have a lot of free content. Is it the free content that we want? Not necessarily, because who likes stickers? I'll be honest, I don't like stickers. But Treyarch is giving us free DLC maps, free updates. Honestly, you don't have to pay a dime to experience every single thing that Operation Grand Heist will have to offer. So, of course, we're going to get Shamrock and Awe. I personally do wish we had a few more events intermixed between each of the events, but overall, how Call of Duty has always been is there's always been empty portions in between each DLC in every single Call of Duty game, and it's just a matter of if you are okay with that or if you're not. And if you're not okay with that, you leave the franchise, you quit the game, and that's up to you. But for people like me who enjoy the game and understand the fact that if I played when I played Black Ops 2 back in the day, I waited and I just enjoyed the game for what it was. And if I got bored of the game, I played something else for a little bit until more content was added. And I think, I think it's partly, people are partly mad because, they want to see things done a certain way, and when it's not done a certain way, they complain about it. But I also do think that Treyarch needs to be a little bit more communicative with the community, kind of pay a little bit more attention, because honestly, I think what people are getting more upset about is that Treyarch is not listening and ignoring the multiplayer community. Because I don't know for sure number-wise, but I believe that the multiplayer and the Blackout community are pretty even with numbers. Maybe multiplayer is a little bit less than Blackout, but I think people are more upset about that Treyarch is not, paying attention. But I don't understand why people are so upset that they're not adding content so quickly, because I think Fortnite has just set an example that all games should add content week after week after week after week after week. And as I've said before, all that added content has actually made me quit Fortnite. I just don't like constant updates that just change the game too much. Honestly, if Fortnite just stayed the way it was from Season 1 all the way till now, I would be completely happy, and I would honestly probably still be playing the game. But I've quit because they've taken out the bolt action, they've taken out the FAMAS, they've taken out a bunch of my favorite guns. The game is insanely sweaty. They keep changing it and changing it and changing it, and I just don't like change. To be completely honest with you, constant change. I actually like the Black Ops 4 DLC system. Do I wish that they release DLC maps once a month for free? Yes, of course I do. Do I wish that there was DLC packs instead of this? Absolutely. I love DLC packs. They're so much fun from a YouTube perspective. I get to download them, make 5 videos that day, and just have a ton of fun playing a new DLC. And then I'm set for another 3 months. And I think that's what people are a little concerned about. But basically, what I want to talk to you about in the end of this video, for very briefly, because I think that we've been recording for about an hour. Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy video. But what I wanted to talk about for the last little bit, I'll try and make this as brief as possible. I wanted to talk about the solutions. About the positives of this DLC, the negatives of this DLC, and a solution. Because if you just talk about the negatives, or you just talk about the positives, and you don't talk about the other side, and you don't talk about solutions, your argument is completely irrelevant. So, positives: free DLC weapons. That is a big thing. Free DLC weapons. I like the tier system. It gives me an incentive to play. The store, I do like the store. I truthfully like the store. I don't always buy the skins from the store because I don't have the money to. But I like this. I truly like the store. I think it's very, very cool. What they add, especially right now, there's the distraction heist theme for Nomad. There's the bunny, the carrot thief for Firebreak, and the Enforcer Mog 12 variant. So that's what I like. I like the supply stream. I like how they organize everything. I really, really like that. Unfortunately, negatives are a little bit higher. There's a little bit more negatives than positives. I wish it was the other way around, but there are unfortunately some negatives. Negatives. Reserve crates. Though it's bad. Reserve crates are not good. We did not want reserve crates. Of course, you get one reserve each tier after tier 100, but reserve crates aren't good because it kind of makes you buy. It kind of makes you want to buy the reserve crates because for each tier that you go past level 100, tier 100, you get one reserve for that. So, which sucks because you definitely want more items, but if you want 3 items, you have to buy a reserve crate, which is bad. I don't think that's a very good thing. Number two negative. We don't like stickers. I'm sorry. I mean, I love the artwork is fantastic, but we don't like stickers. Stickers are useless, especially to us multiplayer guys. Stickers are pointless. We don't need 200 emblems. We don't need 2,000 emblems. Because I actually created my emblems, so I don't even use any of the stickers. We don't like stickers. I'm sorry, we just don't. Stickers are not something that we enjoy getting. I don't think I've ever been excited to be like, oh my gosh, I got the conditioning sticker. Yes, just what I wanted. No, I've never been that way. What gets me excited is, look at that new awesome looking skin for my multiplayer character or my blackout character. Look at that awesome looking skin. Or look at this cool DLC weapon. Even the calling cards I think are cool. I don't mind getting calling cards. I think they're cool, but we don't like stickers. There's a lot of things. People are mad because they believe that they're just filler items that they're just putting in the game. And I'm not mad about these microtransactions because they're cosmetic only, but I don't know, we just don't like stickers. We'd rather have DLC weapons, more emotes, more stuff that's actually tangible that we will actually use, that's actually cool. The artwork for the stickers is fantastic, but stickers just aren't exciting. And the final negative that I wanted to talk about is the maps are only available to Black Ops Pass users. I think that is horrible because it definitely splits up the player base. I'm finding it hard to find matches because I have the Black Ops Pass. And if they just let people buy the DLC maps for a price, then it wouldn't split up the player base as much. But ideally, DLC maps should be free. That's just my personal opinion. But those are the only negatives I have. Solutions are a little bit harder because there can't be any solutions unless Treyarch decides to listen. Unfortunately, that's just the case. When Treyarch decides to listen, that is when change will happen. But Treyarch just does not listen. It seems like they don't listen. A lot of people are complaining about it. A lot of people are quitting their game. Unfortunately, because I enjoy Black Ops 4, I think it's a fun game. But a lot of people are quitting, so those are my solutions. The only solution I can think of is that Treyarch just has to listen to the community. That's what they need to do. That's the only thing that will fix the game, is if they listen. There's no way we can fix the game without a open-eared development team. But there we go, guys. That is everything I want to talk about. We talked for over an hour about all of the DLC, all of everything from Call of Duty 4 all the way to Black Ops 4, and solutions and everything like that. It's been absolutely crazy. I did not mean to talk for this long. I knew it was going to be a long video, but there's just so much important stuff to talk about in this video, and basically I just want to say, stop complaining. You cannot expect every game to be like Fortnite. You can't expect every game to be adding new content every single week for free. You just can't expect that. Even though Activision makes billions and billions of dollars, they're still a business. They're still doing business practices. And are business practices always friendly to consumer? Absolutely not. That's just how the world works. That's called capitalism. It is what it is. And, I'll still be playing Black Ops 4 all year. I enjoy the game still. I'm fine with the DLC system. Of course, do I wish there was map packs? Yeah, definitely. I like map packs much more, but I don't know. That's really all I had to say. There's been 13 Call of Duty games. Every Call of Duty game up until Infinite Warfare was basically no content drops between the DLCs and when they release. So, and that's pretty much the same that's going on with Black Ops 4, but people apparently seem to hate that this year. Don't know why, but it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I really, really hope you guys enjoyed. The editing for this video is going to take absolutely ages, And if you guys even thought about making it this far in the video, I really, really appreciate whoever made it this far, and you guys are definitely loyal fans, and I'm really, really happy that you guys made it this far. I know it's a really long video, probably wasn't the most entertaining because I'm a little bit low energy, I'm a little bit tired, but I just had to get this off, had to get this video out, because I'm really tired of all the complaining, all the hate around Call of Duty. And, you know, I also forgot to mention that the Twitch numbers don't determine the game itself, because Apex Legends has over 50 million players, and there's only 120,000 viewers on Twitch, which is about 10% of the whole entire, which is less than 10% of the entire game itself. So if there's only 20,000 people watching Black Ops 4 on Twitch, which is not very much, I'll be completely honest, but if that number is only 10%, that means there's at least 200,000 or more people playing Black Ops 4 still. So you can think the game's dead, you can think what you want, but the game is not dead. There's a whole bunch of other points I could talk about in this video, but I've been recording for a really, really long time. I may make a follow-up video about other different Call of Duty related things. But that is it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe if you aren't new, make sure you check out all of my other Call of Duty videos. There's been a ton on this channel. I mean, if you guys could really support this video, I would really appreciate it, because I've been doing a ton of editing, and it's going to be a big editing project. But I will see you guys on another Black Ops 4 or Call of Duty video very, very soon.